Hey guys, I'm Brian with Aromacup.com. Thank you so much for joining me here, as always, in my virtual coffee shop brought to you by Aromacup.com. Today I'm going to give you a little side-by-side comparison of two really very cool single-serve espresso making machines on the single-serve market. I've got the Francis Y1 Red by Illy, which is a fairly new, very cool boutique kind of single-serve espresso machine. And then here on my right-hand side, I have an old favorite, one that I've spoken about many times in the past, the Nespresso Pixie. I'm going to dive in, just show you some of the quick comparison features between these two. We'll brew a little bit of coffee and just show you how these machines work. Let's dive right in and talk about it. Okay guys, so the first thing you're going to notice when these two machines are side by side is that obviously, they look very different. The Y1 Red is a little bit more stylized, I would say, than the Pixie. It's got this large space on the top. The top part of the Y1 is actually heated so that you can keep espresso shot glasses on top of it and keep them warm, which is kind of cool. That's a feature which the Pixie does not have. Now, both of these machines, of course, have water tanks. That's one of the most important things, is the water for these machines. On the Y1, the water tank is located here on the front. It's relatively small, has a max fill line, and you just need to be mindful of when it's time to fill it up anytime you're using it. On the Pixie, the water tank is actually located on the back of the unit, and it's got a much larger water tank than the Y1 does. So that is kind of a nice thing. You don't have to fill up the Pixie as much. Not really a big deal, but just something to keep in mind between the two units. Both of them have adjustable trays. On the Pixie, I can flip the tray up or down if I want to use a larger cup. On the Y1, the metal tray is removable in order to allow me to use a slightly larger cup. If I would like to use a slightly larger cup, I just simply need to put the tray down here on the bottom, and I can use a larger one, but I can't really use tumblers with the Y1. So that is a difference between these two machines, guys. Something to keep in mind is that you're really only going to be able to use espresso shot glasses with the Y1. Both of these have built-in receptacles for catching the used capsules when you're done brewing. In the case of the Y1, it's here on the side and it just slides right out, and it holds 12 capsules in it as you fill it up. And then on the Pixie, the container for catching the capsules is actually located right here on the front. You just need to pull out the tray in order to empty that. Now, brewing is very much the same on both of these units, with the exception of some differences. The first one, of course, is going to be the capsules. Now, the capsules with the Y1, you're going to notice, are very stylized. They're different from any capsule I've ever encountered. They're entirely made of plastic. There's no foil top on these or anything like that. They're really stylized, like I say. They have iperEspresso cut into the bottom plastic right here. But the espresso grounds that are inside of these has been tamped to very certain specifications to make sure that you get the best pull of espresso out of the Y1. Now, in the case of the Nespresso capsules, they come in these different packages, these cardboard packages right here, and they are foil and very, very, a little bit more simple as compared to the Y1. We've talked about these capsules before. There's many different types of Nespresso capsules. They're called the Grand Cru, and there's different types of espresso that you can get with each of these Grand Crus. Now, in the case of the Illy capsules, you can purchase them in these foil double packs. So if you want to just experiment a little bit and get to know the flavor that you like the best, you have these different capsules. Each of them are color coded. So I have a green package here. Here's some green capsules, so on and so forth. Also, with the Illy capsules, you have access to these tins, and these tins are full of 12 different Illy capsules. And they come from different locales. So like in the case of these ones, this is a Brazilian blend of espresso grounds. So again, if you want to experiment a little bit with the flavors that you like, you have a lot of different options, really with both of these machines, which is very, very cool. You're not locked into one type of espresso ground or anything like that. Now, as I say, brewing is a little bit of a different process on each of these machines, and I'll show you guys why. First off, in order to start brewing with either of these machines, we need to open up the brew basket. Now, in the case of the Y1, there's a lot of pressure on this brew basket when I open it up, and that's because it actually has to puncture the plastic of this capsule. Now, once I've opened the unit up, all I need to do is place the capsule in here. It doesn't need to go in any specific direction or anything like that, just needs to pop into the machine. I can then close up the top catch, but I need to make sure to actually latch the top closed because that punctures that espresso capsule and gets it ready for brewing. Now, in the case of the Nespresso Pixie, it's a little bit more simple. I just simply, as you can see, open up the brew basket right here, take my capsule, I need to make sure that it slides in the right direction, drop it in, and then I can simply close up the brew basket. That punctures the espresso capsule and now it's ready to go. Now, the difference in brewing with these two machines, guys, the largest one, is that in the case of the Pixie, we actually have a timer for the brew of our espresso. We've got a single and a double shot button here on the top of the Pixie. All I need to do is press that in order to start brewing. So that's really straightforward. I can press it, I can walk away for a few seconds, something like that, come back, and my espresso will be ready. But with the Y1, this is an important thing, guys. The brew button is right here on the front of the unit, and you notice it's glowing white right now. The important thing to note here is very simply that there is no timer on the Y1. So you need to know exactly how much coffee you actually want to brew when you're using the Y1. And you can gauge that based on different things, the strength that you know that you like, the type of capsule that you're using, various things like that, the type of beverage you're making, so on and so forth. That's something that's very important to remember. So let me just show you guys these two machines in action. Now, in the case of the Y1, I'm actually going to take the tray and move it down here to the bottom. I'm using two of the same mug. You'll notice these are both the same size, same type. And I'm going to go ahead and just place this one right here under the Y1's brew basket. And then in the case of the Pixie, again, you'll notice I don't immediately have enough room. So I can flip the tray up and I can push my mug right underneath the brew basket here on the Pixie. So now I can start brewing. Now in the Pixie, I'm going to go ahead and do a double shot for the capsule which I put into the machine. So I'm just going to go ahead and start this one brewing. And then I will also start the Y1 and just show you the two in action together. So here's the Pixie. And then we'll go ahead and start the Y1. Now the button on the Y1 is actually going to lock down, and it's going to stay locked down until I decide that I've brewed as much coffee as I actually want to brew. As opposed, of course, to the Pixie, which is going to actually time itself based on the type of shot. And there you go, now the Pixie has stopped brewing. But you're going to notice the Y1 is still going. And I can let it go really for as long as I would like. It really, again, all depends on the strength of the coffee that I would like. And while I let the Y1 just brew a little bit more coffee, I'll remind you guys, please check us out at Aromacup.com, join our forums, talk with other coffee lovers, and check out our other videos. We're always interested in talking coffee with you guys at Aromacup.com. So I'm still brewing here, and you can see that the difference between the amount of coffee which I've brewed already with the Y1, I still haven't almost brewed as much as what I made with the Pixie. So the Pixie is a little bit faster. But I can definitely say that the pressure of the Y1 makes a big difference in the espresso pull. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this. All I need to do is just press the button right there on the front. So remember, no timer. I actually made that mistake myself. I was thinking that the Y1 had a timer in it when I first started using it, and I pressed the button and I let it go and I let it go, and I kept thinking, why isn't it stopping? And then I realized it doesn't stop. I need to tell it to stop brewing. But here's the two pulls side by side. Now, again, I'm using different types of espresso here in each of these capsules, no matter what. But you can see a difference between each of these machines, I think, in a number of different ways. The crema is a little bit different from the Y1 than it is from the Pixie machine. And I definitely do notice a little bit more of a darker color on the Y1. Now, remember, this is all going to differ based on the type of coffee that you're using. And because I can't necessarily gauge where each of the different capsules, coffees came from with each of these machines. I'm not going to worry too much about the comparison there, but you can see a little bit of a difference between each of these machines. Now, cleanup is really, really easy with both of these. In order to clean up on the Y1, all you need to do is pop open the top latch, pull this, and then, well, in this case, the capsule actually did not flip. It should usually flip and drop down into the catch box right here. And then I can simply empty that catch box when I'm done. That is one thing that I did notice about this machine, is that sometimes you really have to kind of pull up in order to get this plastic catch to actually pop the capsule out. So it's not a big deal, it's just something to be mindful of. In the case of the Pixie, all I need to do is open the brew basket, and now my empty capsule drops into the catch here on the bottom of the unit. So you can see there's some great comparisons between these two machines. There's some differences, there's some similarities, but there's a quick overview of both of these machines. All right, guys, so I hope that you found the overviews of these two awesome single-serve espresso machines useful. Now, as always, the price point is different between both of these machines, and it's really going to depend for you on what kind of espresso you want to make and how comfortable you feel with the machine. It's just important to remember the many things that I pointed out as differences between these two. I personally really like them both. They're both eye-catching on a countertop, and they're both going to make great espresso shots for all of the various beverages that you can make if you are an at-home coffee aficionado like ourselves here at Aromacup.com. So thank you guys so much for checking us out. Please check out our other videos. Join us, of course, on Aromacup.com. We always are looking forward to talking coffee with you guys. I'm Brian with Aromacup.com. As always, enjoy your cup, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.